Hello everyone, I'm Faral Imran and today I've got some really exciting news. So how as all the AI news you see there's going on that how all the companies are making their chatbots better than ChatGPT and competing with its latest version which is called ChatGPT 4. So, how you can see Claude 3.5 has dominated the field, which is Claude 3.5 Sonnet has dominated the AI field and it has beaten ChatGPT in most of the benchmarks. And there was another news about Amazon created a chatbot. It's a secret project called Metis, which is competing with ChatGPT. And they said it would be ChatGPT clearer. So now ChatGPT and OpenAI decided not to stay behind, so they made another amazing thing so that they stay ahead of the competition and remain the king. So I'll be showing you about it. And they made a product called CriticGPT. Now, that is a model. What it will do to correct the GPT 4.0, it would point out the errors in GPT 4.0. So, whatever ChatGPT will make mistakes, it would point out and make ChatGPT better. So, I'll be telling you all about it, what methods it's used, why it's used. So, I'll be telling you all about it. So, stay tuned until the end so that you don't miss any information regarding it. So, let's get started. So you see here, OpenAI's new Critic GPT model is trained to criticize GPT-4 outputs. So I'm at a blog, and here they say that OpenAI has made a new model, and its name is Critic GPT. Now this Critic GPT model is trained to criticize GPT-4 outputs. Now whatever mistakes GPT-4 would make or whatever erroneous result it would give, then Critic GPT-4 would point out those errors. Now let's see how they have done this. And they also have the research paper. They released the research paper and they published it. So at the website. So if you go to OpenAI's official website, there you can click on it, read the paper. Then when you click on it, so this page opens. So here they say LLM critics help catch LLM bugs. So it would the critic or the you can see GPT is the criticizer, which will help catch the bugs or not the worms I'm talking about, but the bugs or the errors which GPT-4 would be making. So those bugs and errors it would be catching. So now let's see about it. Now when I scroll this down, here when I'm scrolling it, and this was released on Thursday. So the Open AI researchers they unveiled Critic GPT, and it's a new AI model which is designed to identify mistakes in code, which is generated by ChatGPT. Now here the responses which Critic GPT will find out the errors in it. It's actually the code. So for example, whatever answers you want, like for example if you say write a code for me, or for example can you like fix this code and give me another code. So sometimes it happens that the code that ChatGPT gives you, it has errors in it. Like for example when you type it in your like file or VS Code or Atom, when you type it or you paste that code, so it gives you errors and then you again type it, like you copy paste it again. This things keeps on happening unless it gives the answer. And it also happens that ChatGPT forgets that what the thing you actually wanted. It happens so many times. So now what they did, they made Critic GPT. Now whatever code that GPT-4 will give you, so Critic GPT will try to identify that these are the errors in the code and it's the mistakes in the code it is giving. So why they're doing that? One thing is that to stay ahead of the competition, so that to make something different. And the second is that they want to improve their AI system and they want to make their AI system behave more like human. So how the humans are, of course, they can identify the errors. So they want the AI to identify the errors. Now here, the method they use, it's called reinforcement learning from human feedback. It's RLHF. Now, this is a technique, it will help the human reviewers make large language model outputs more accurate. So here the outputs of the LLM would be more accurate. And here, if you see the in the new research paper, it was called LLM Critics Help Catch LLM Bugs. So just now I showed you before in the video the research paper when I showed you. So in that there's the title. So here, okay, now this critic GPT, it's not acting alone. So it would be an assistant to human trainers who will review the programming code. So here what will happen is that this AI would be the assistant to humans. So it's like an assistant who will help the humans review the code and point out the mistakes, for example, which the humans did not see or they overlooked. So this critic GPT will do. And this critic GPT is based on GPT-4 family. So it's based on GPT-4 family. It will analyze the code and it will point out, means it will tell the humans that here you see there's the code, there's the problem or the errors, and then so that the humans can have a look at it. And for example, if they, for example, like overlook and they didn't see that bug, so the critic GPT can point it out. And now, one more thing, what they did. Now, for the data, how they trained this critic GPT. Now, for training this critic GPT, now what they do, now for this data set, what they did, they intentionally added bugs in the code samples. So, for the data, what they prepared, in which there was the code samples inside it, they intentionally added bugs so that to train critic GPT so that it can analyze that what types of errors can come out or what types of bugs it can come out so that it can teach it or learn it so that it can teach the critic GPT about the coding errors or mistakes, like what kind of coding errors it would be, whether it would be syntax errors or logical errors or what types of errors it would be. So that's why it is teaching it by training it, you know, like training means feeding it with the data set. So this was the how the data set was prepared. Now next, it was also researchers find out one more thing also. Now here they said that the critic GPTs were actually preferred more than the humans critics in 63% of cases, means it's 63% of cases chat gpt's critic gpt was preferred more than the human critics. And these were the cases in which the natural occurring LLM errors came out. And one more things, researchers found out that human machine teams using Critic GPT wrote more comprehensive critics than humans alone. Means they were saying that humans with a Critic GPT assistant, they wrote more comprehensive critics than humans writing it alone. And also reducing the hallucination rates. Now, hallucination rates is that AI which produces erroneous results. Now here, developing an automated critic. So of course, critic GPT, OpenAI has made. So that's why that is automated because it's a machine is doing the job. So here, it also involved in the development of critic GPT. It also involved training the model on a large number of inputs containing deliberately inserted mistakes, means many mistakes were inserted and human trainers were asked to modify code written by ChatGPT, introducing errors, means adding errors, and then providing the feedback as if they had discovered these bugs. And now this process allowed the model to learn how to identify and critique various types of coding errors. And also in experiment, critic GPT, it had or it made its ability to catch both inserted errors and naturally occurring errors. Means the in ChatGPT's output in which the the bugs were inserted, so it was able to catch those that these bugs are inserted, and it was also able to catch the natural occurring errors, means the one which ChatGPT has produced the errors. Now the inserted bugs were those bugs in which ChatGPT it produced the code correctly, but the humans have inserted the bugs and presented to CriticGPT. Now CriticGPT is able to analyze it. And now here they said this new model's critic was preferred by trainers over those generated by ChatGPT itself in 63% of cases involving natural bugs, means the one in which ChatGPT made the erroneous mistakes or outputs. So 63% of cases was that. The researchers also created a new technique which they call force sampling beam search. It's FSBS. Now, this method it also helps Critic GPT write more detailed reviews of code. Means for code you need to write a review of it. So now this method it will help Critic GPT to write more detailed views of code, and it also lets the adjuster adjust how thorough Critic GPT is in looking for problems while also controlling how often it might make up issues that don't really exist. Now, here it also lets the researchers adjust. Now, the researchers are adjusting that how thorough the Critic GPT is in looking for problems, or it's making its own problems that are not actually existing. Now, they are tweaking this balance. So, because they want the Critic GPT to find out problems, not create more problems. And also they found that the Critic GPT capabilities they extend beyond just code review. It not only just does code reviews, they say that its ability is more than just code review. And in their experiment, they applied the model to a subset of ChatGPT training data. Now, as a subset of ChatGPT training data, they applied the model to it, means the training data which was given to ChatGPT. So this model was applied to that training data which had been previously rated as flawless by humans. Now this training data which was given or they were giving to ChatGPT, now humans said that this data is flawless and perfect. And now this model what they did, they applied this model to this training data. Now what happened, surprisingly amazing part came, that they identified errors in 24% of these cases. Means in 24% of these cases they identified the errors, means those errors which were confirmed by human reviewers. Means after that when human looked at, they were actually errors. Now this demonstrates the model's potential to generalize to non code tasks and also highlight its ability to catch the code mistakes that even humans might miss. Now, due to its amazing results, now here they say, but it has some limitation, because before they said that how amazing it, now it has some limitation, it has some disadvantage. Now here it's trained on relatively short ChatGPT answers, means the answers in which this model is trained is for short, means those answers are short, not long. So it's not fully prepared to evaluate the longer and more complex tasks for that future AI systems might tackle. So here they said that how it was able to catch the errors in code, but here they said that it's trained on the short answers, not long answers. So this is the limitations. So this said that this is